What's rocking? We are here. And what do you have in your garden podcast? As you guys can see, I got two amazing people to my left and to my right. I'm going to introduce you to the person to my left first. I call her my mentor, but she really go by MoeMinistry, aka Poetry's daughter. You hear me? To my right, I got my big boy T. So, selling out you lose. And today, we're gonna be planting seeds, not just for us, but for y'all. So y'all, how y'all doing, man? What's going on, Mo? What's rocking? How you feeling today?
I'm feeling good, and Happy New Year.
Too, Happy New Year.
Right? I mean, to me, it's just another day, but I do love the excitement and the refreshment that comes with the new year. So, right. I'm ready to challenge myself.
Right. That's what's up, T.
Man, I'm good. Happy to be here. You know what I mean? Glad it is a new year because you do get that to do better. You know what I mean? But man, just excited about what the possibilities are. You feel me?
Oh, mamas. Yeah, like 2025, man, I was just grateful just to like wake up and see it. You feel me? Because last year was so hectic. I mean, for me, but maybe for a lot of people, that I'm just grateful to wake up, be here on 2025. And then for me, it's like a fresh start. Mm-hmm. So before we jump into the podcast, I'm just going to do a quick icebreaker question off the top, So the question is, what are you guys expecting from yourselves in 2025? I'm going to start with T.
More productivity in different aspects as far as health, family, soul, you feel me? Even with writing. Just overall, just in life.
I got it. I feel you. Plant more seeds within yourself. Yeah, I love that. What's up, Mo?
Definitely for me, what I'm expecting of myself, and that's a good question, by the way. Thank you. What I'm expecting is to definitely do more writing, and I'm gonna make sure I don't play small this year. Like I'm gonna play big. You know what I'm saying?
I like that.
Like I know I could do way more than I did in 2024. And shout out to 2024 because it was a good year. But this year, I'm gonna play big.
I love that. I'm about to play big. Yeah, for me, I think one of my goals of this year is just to really get out there, right? Like not being afraid of the vision, not being afraid of myself. Just really getting out there. And so I'm grateful to be able to, birth certain platforms like this, or being an author, or being a poet, things of that nature. So I rock with y'all. Play big and just plant more seeds in myself. I'm with that. All right, y'all. What do you have in your garden podcast, man? You would be like, Will, what does garden mean? Or you always talking about the garden, or what do you have in your garden? What is that? What is the garden? I'm glad that you guys asked. The garden represents life. When I talk about seeds represents our trials, our tribulations, our achievements, what we overcame, what motivates us, what encourages us, what inspires us. All right? So the garden means life. So the first question I have for this dynamic couple, you hear me? By the way, this is a double part question. But I'm going to ask the first question first and be as transparent and real and authentic. Y'all already know, I don't got to say too much. You feel me? All right. So what has urged you to grow? I'm going to start with you, T. Or what inspires you to grow?
Well, I think it's probably a few things.
Okay.
Family, of course. Just that internal desire to be better. Like, I think that inspires personal growth. Also, income-wise, you feel me? So family, myself, income, those types of things, man, it inspires me to grow and just be better.
Awesome, man. That's a great question. From a man to man, like it's the question later on in the podcast, bro. And I'm going to go back to that because that means a lot to me just to hear that from another man. You feel me? Mo, what inspires you to grow?
Honestly, I would say just as I go through my life, right? And let's just go back to 2024. It just seemed like every year that I continue to say yes to my purpose. Like I see God's favor over my life, and it's like it never gets old, right? Especially being a person of faith, like You know God is good. You know God is faithful. It's a lot of things that God does for us, a lot of prayers that he answers outward, prayers that we pray inside that he answers outward. But the more like favor I see in my life is like it inspires me because it reminds me like God really rock with me. Right? Like God really rock with me. It doesn't mean that I'm exempt from like trials and tribulations, but like certain opportunities that I get that would take somebody else like years to get, you know what I'm saying? Certain like paths that I cross with people. It just inspires me, like I said, about like playing bigger, not playing small. So it's like it just inspires me to just keep growing, keep going harder because I see at the end of the day, like God really rocked with me. God really got like a plan for my life and there's nothing I can do about it. So it just makes me want to work harder.
I love that. Oh, we going up.
Yeah.
Keynote. Y'all notice? This is a double part question. You hear me? All right. So with that, y'all, my fellow gardeners out there, we know what inspires T and Mo to grow. Now, what seeds you possess that allows you to grow? So remember I talked about seeds before.
Mhm.
So what seeds that you possess that allows you to grow? Let's talk, Mo.
Definitely my faith. And anybody that talked to me, I'm always talk about my faith, right? Like my faith and just knowing my journey and where I've come from and where I am now. It's like my faith is like a seed that I continually want to water. And you helped me kind of think about it like that because honestly, before your ministry and your podcast, I never looked at my life as like a garden. But now that we're talking about planting seeds, it's definitely going to be something that I will continue to like revisit and continue to put more seeds in. But my faith is like the main seed that I would say I would plant. And then I learned recently, like one of my gifts, with the fruits of the spirit.
Yeah.
I learned really that one of my gifts is like kindness. Just from hearing like a lot of people tell me that, you know what I'm saying? And so I decided to own it. And that's another seed that I like to just plant as I go throughout life, like just being kind, you know what I'm saying? And sharing wisdom and sharing faith. And those are the seeds like that will be my foundation as I add more as I go.
I love that, bro. T, what seeds you possess that allows you to grow?
Definitely faith. Faith is one. I think probably a positive outlook just because having faith, I definitely believe things are always going to work out for the good because God works things out for the good of those who love him.
Yeah.
You feel me? On a call to according to his purpose.
Yeah.
But faith, I think also just, man, I just have a love for our people in a sense, you feel me? So I think just especially coming up in 2025, the seed I plan on speaking more life into the people. So that'll be a seed as far as speaking life, but also being authentic with it. I mean, just speaking the truth. You feel me?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir. That's a great trick. Both of you guys' answers are super great transitions to this next question.
These questions is fire though.
You feel me?
Can I get a copy of these questions? Because I need this for this year to keep myself on the right track.
So look, hear me out. So it's crazy when God, gives you a vision to do things and to react to you guys' answers. I found out that even though I have to put the work in, as long as I got faith and ethic, everything's gonna work out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so just to piggyback, y'all. You know what I'm saying? This is our second time shooting this, And for me, the second time shooting it, it just felt more complete. Mm. First time I was kind of, my mind was everywhere, just trying to make a good impressions on my kin folks, But the second time, I'm good. I'm feeling great. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. It's family.
You know what I'm saying? And it's a blessing to even rock with people on you guys' caliber that share the same faith. But with that answer that you guys gave us, it's a great transition because we just talked about what inspires us to grow, what seeds do we have. Now I want to talk about growth from failures. Mm. I want to, love is everything. Understanding is a must. Transparency is needed for those that need love. We gotta switch growth from failures, Right. So, we had times, if you guys are real, not you, but well, us, everybody in this room. You hear me?
Right.
We at times need setbacks to push us forward. Mo, I need y'all, to tell us a time where failure led you to grow, personal or professional. I'm gonna start with you, Mo.
Okay, this is my true story. So, if you knew me from back in the day, or if you grew up with me, you know, like all I ever wanted to be was a rapper. That's all I wanted to be, was a rapper or a producer. Wasn't no plan B. And just so happened to be good at it too, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bars.
I just, bars. Got some bars. But it was a trip though too, because the one thing I didn't have is I didn't have no structure. I didn't have no plan, and I don't know. I kind of just let time get the best of me, right? So I didn't know that, like, if you want something in life, like, you got to work for it. Like, just because you're good at it doesn't mean that it's going to land in your lap. And I also didn't know, and you know, I was young teenager, young adult coming up or whatever. I didn't know that, like, you know, time don't wait for nobody.
Right.
So the failure pretty much was that, you know, one day I was coming out of high school, signing my yearbook, or what would be my famous signature, you know what I'm saying, telling everybody, oh, you're going to see me on BET,
right.
And then next thing you know, like, I'm probably late 20s, almost 30, married with children, great life, going to work, but I'm not a rapper. Like, I'm not a famous rapper or producer. And I'm like, where did the time go?
Right.
You know, so I had a dark time where I just kind of looked up and was like, wait a minute, like, oh, like, if you want something in life, you got to work for it.
Right.
Oh, if you want something in life, like, you got to have a plan, you got to have structure, you got to have discipline. And so, because obviously, you know, with me being a poet now, and if you hear my poetry, you can hear that hip hop cadence. Like, that's my first love. You know, It's just like life wasn't over, but in that moment, I felt like, wow, I felt like it was too late to be something great as far as being an artist or being a hip hop artist, even though I was still dibble dabble in, you know, music here and there. But it was like my dreams for myself were so big, and I wasted so much time just partying and just thinking I had all the time in the world, but realizing I didn't, you know what I'm saying? So that was a failure, but I mean, it needed to happen, because honestly, I never thought I was going to be a poet. I never thought I was going to be no poet, you know, even though I wrote a little poetry back in the day, little, you know, love poems, and, oh, he broke my heart, and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
we all been there.
Yeah, we all been there, you know what I'm saying? But I never thought I was going to be a poet, but I guess it needed to happen, you know what I'm saying, for me to be who I truly was supposed to be. But we all have those regrets in life.
Right. And it's amazing that you say that, because even you say, like, I wanted to be a rapper, right? And you said, like, you never thought you'd be a poet. Like, for me personally, like, you're a hybrid of both, but you carry the essence of a poet. But the rapper is still a poet. You feel me?
I can feel that.
So
thank God.
Thank you for that transparency. That's that's raw talk. I appreciate that. Y'all hear that, chat? She wanted to be a rapper, but she a poet. But poetry, or a rapper, is a poet. You know what I'm saying? They like fraternal twins. You get me?
Come on now.
You hear me? My bro T, tell us about a time, bro, where failure led to growth, rather personal or professional.
I think it's still along the lines of what Mo just said too. With me, I don't know if it's really failure, but I think it was kind of like a transition. I mean, we all have times in life where we fail.
Yeah.
But this, when I finished my first album, it was I finished my first album. This was years ago, but we were on track to try to do some big things with it, man. And at that time, it was a few things that happened and transpired, and God met me right at that moment too, like during that transition, because there were some things that were going wrong. Like, certain people didn't want to be on the album because they were like, I got to hear what the album is talking about. Somebody that was on the album was kind of like, I don't know if I want to talk about that no more. And it was just like, dang, everything is going wrong. But God met me right there. So it was like, God had the album done. So was selling a few kind of like out the trunk. You feel me? And then we got to a point where it was like, man, I can't talk about this no more. So we wound up throwing away a whole bunch of CDs. Mm-hmm. But from there, it was kind of like, man, this was my ticket. This is what I was supposed to be doing with my life. You feel me? And then from there, it was just kind of like, well, no, you're supposed to be a family man, a godly man. So that was just kind of like a transition. It was kind of like,
So what was
I take a failure out of it, but it was a lesson that was being taught also.
So you said a transition, right?
Mhm.
So can you tell the people what type of music was you making back there to make you come to the transition?
Making music, man, about everything. Like, you feel me? Like, just the type of stuff that I was doing in life. I mean, and some exaggeration. You know what I mean? Like you see with today's artists, a lot of exaggeration.
Yeah.
But it's crazy when you're young because you really don't have. I want to say you don't have any fear, but nowadays I wouldn't want my mama to hear what I was talking about.
Facts.
You know what I mean? I wouldn't want that.
Yeah.
But so that's the type of music I was making back then.
Okay.
That was a fire album. And people still listen to it.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, man. I mean, and this was like 2007 when it I want to say when it dropped. When we dropped, it was like 2007. But yeah, that right there.
Okay.
You got to be willing to. I want to say like read the signs, or especially if you're a person of faith, being able to see where God taking you, in what direction. So yeah, so I take it. It wasn't. It was a failure just in my sense at that time because it was like I let something go, but it was a transition.
Okay.
A transition to a lesson.
And so with that, right? It's a key question that I thought of. Do you guys think it's okay to be afraid of failure?
Yeah, I think it's like being a human, right? It's okay to be afraid to fail, but at the same time, make sure you're moving. Make sure you're doing something while you're afraid. Like you hear the term, like, do it scared.
Right.
It's a lot of times we do stuff scared. People might not know.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you'd be like, you could be proud, like, okay, at least I did it. Like, okay, like, there's been times I'm sure I performed, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I felt my legs shaking, but I'm like, man, I wonder if they can see my legs shaking, you know what I'm saying? Or I look back at a video and be like, oh, I look kind of tense, you know?
Right.
But then I'll be like, dang, but at least I did it, because there's been time in my life where I missed out on opportunities because I let my fear talk me out of it.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just like,
I've been there. Yeah.
That's a regret you can't get back. Like, you can't get the opportunity back. So I'd rather just do it scared and learn from it. You know what I'm saying? And just move forward. So I feel like it's okay.
Yeah. I think it's okay to be afraid of failure. I think just because it's a natural part of life. But I think we have to come to the realization that even with failure, you can't let it keep you stuck there.
Right.
You still gotta push ahead, push forward, but also you gotta learn from it.
Right.
So you know what I mean. So if you can learn from it and push forward, then I think it's okay to fear failure, it's okay to feel failure, but you can't let it keep you stuck.
Right.
You know what I mean. So yeah.
I totally agree. When I question pop up to my head, I always go back to self-reflecting.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I remember when I was young, I was just so afraid to be me, but I was afraid to be me because I didn't know who I was.
Yeah.
Right. But here's the catch: when I start to become or start to have an understanding of who I am, I still was afraid. But I wasn't just afraid of me anymore. I was afraid of those opportunities. I was afraid of, doing what God told me to do, rather if it's poetry, talking to somebody, putting out a book. My thing was, sometimes I still deal with it, is that I was afraid of being accepted because I got so used to being rejected. But that helped me, though, cultivate, I call it confidence. Not confidence, confidence.
I like that.
Right? To where you understand, like, every morning when I look in the mirror, like, I know who I am. So I'm no longer looking for acceptance, but I'm no longer being fearful of being rejected.
I feel that.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I have to go through certain roles to understand the qualities of myself. Remember last time we was talking, guys, and we said something like to the nature of sometimes we're not afraid of who we are afraid of
But we're not.
you feel me.
That part.
Yeah, and so I had to learn that, and it's crazy because it's still a growing process. It's a seed I planted over 10 years ago, right? That I'm starting to see that plant grow and grow and grow, and so yeah, that's how I feel about like being afraid to fail. I'm no longer that anymore. I used to be, even last year, used to be, right? Because, you know, guys, before we move on, right? Let me just say something. You guys ever heard that saying is that somebody could see the anointing on you before you notice it on yourself?
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so you be dealing with your own self like, damn, what I'm dealing with. You feel me? Like, why can't I see what they see?
That part.
You feel me? And Mo, just before we transition, I wanted this because I want to rekindle the story that you said when we talked previously about when you had what was it?
What?
When they wanted you to speak and you denied it?
Toastmaster.
What was it?
Toastmasters. Was it Toastmasters?
It was Toastmasters.
Oh, okay.
And you remember that story you told us?
What is it? The story when I said like I kind of let my fear talk me out of it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And then slowly like you regretted it because the person that was over was like, I expected you to do it.
One of the judges.
Yeah.
He basically told me like, so basically what I was saying is that I was a part of Toastmasters International for some years, and that's just like a international public speaking organization. They teach you how to overcome public speaking, teach you communication. And then like after about a year, I started getting into like the speech contest. But then I signed up for the speech contest, and then I got cold feet the night before. So just like how you'd be like, you know, calling for work, I was planning on calling in to Toastmasters like, I'm sick, you know, I can't make it.
Right.
But I ended up sending them an email, like basically saying like I wouldn't, you know, I won't be a part of the speech contest. And then I built up enough courage to at least show up. You know what I'm saying? Have some dignity.
Right.
And show up.
Right.
It was only one seat left and was next to one of the judges who I had met before, and he had seen me speak a few times. So he noticed that my name was no longer on the speech list. And so he asked me like, you know, why your name not on here? And I'm like, oh, you know, next time. I decided not to do it. And then after everybody had did their thing and they announced the winners, he looked at me and he was like, you could have easily won that speech contest, Monique. And I was like, oh my God, like this one of the judges, like, you know, telling me that I could have easily won the contest. And so I had to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, if in the moment, I released some pressure off of myself by not having to get up there and speak. But it really wasn't worth it because then I had to go home and deal with the fact that I could have won, or I could have at least, you know, did something great for myself.
Right. So. Yeah, I remember when you told us that story, it prompted me to like, because, you know, sometimes you'll meet somebody new, but, you know, they still got gold in their treasure chest that they just don't let everybody hear or see. Mm-hmm. That story it prompted me because I'm like, that's why she is who she is now today. Because she would never let the opportunity evaporate for her. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I was grateful for that. I never forgot it. You know, I'm like, okay, that's what's up. And that's why I wanted to make sure I asked that question. Is it okay to be afraid of failure? You feel me? Mm-hmm. And so I appreciate that. Now, guys, the garden, we talked about growth. We talked about our seeds. We even talked about being afraid to fail, right? I want us to start talking about legacy. What we want, whatever we want, we want to talk about legacy to the point that we understand who God called us to be, right? So this next question is like, what is something that you guys are working on, rather internal, external, your vision, your brand? What is something that you guys are working on that you want to have a lasting impact on your life and the lives of others? I'm going to go with T.
I think probably, not probably, but definitely S.O.U.L, which is a brand, selling out you lose. I would want that to be a legacy, not just for me, but for my children. Because I think with S.O.U.L, or selling out you lose, it carries integrity and truth and authenticity. Like when you have those things, it's going to carry you from a young man to an old man.
Right.
You feel me? And then that is the legacy. Like, you know what I mean? So with that, also I did another EP like a few years ago where I touched a lot on just the Black community and a lot of things that were going on at that time. But those things still hold true. So I think just with the legacy, when people think about me or when my children reflect on me as a person, I want them to say, okay, these are the things that Dad stood for. Also, they know my faith in God. I pray with them in the morning before they go to school and things of that nature. So those things are just are the main things in my legacy I want to be remembered for, especially with my family.
Right.
You know.
Right. I'm gonna double part this question, and you kind of answered it, but just get more. Just not get more, but in depth.
Mm-hmm.
In depth, right? Why is this goal important to you?
Even
Even though you just said it, you did. You look. Hey, the gardeners out there, fellow gardeners. He did just say it, huh? But why is it like truly important to you? Because I know the Bible tells us a wise man leaves inheritance for his children, right? Huh? Are you a wise man, brother? Yeah. But yeah, so but why? You know what I'm saying? Like, why is that important to you, brother? To even prompt the message of soul, and then selling out you lose. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why is that? Even though you answered, but why is it? Why is it important?
I mean, because it's the truth, integrity, and authenticity. I want my children to be able to grow into grown men who stand for those things. Also, I mean, it just I want to leave the world better than it was.
Facts. Yes, sir.
So
yes,
those things. So yeah.
Yeah, and the reason why I did that, I'm not gonna funny, right? It's like God be talking to me in my head, right? I swear to God. I swear, and it's a beautiful thing because a lot of men don't even get are afraid to speak on that, like about who they are and what they want to leave for their children, and a lot of men don't even do it, right? And I see like you are a trendsetter, like you know what I'm saying. Y'all seeds that y'all planting in the earth are gonna be trendsetters for their generation. You feel me? So I understand. That's why you know what I'm saying. I get hyped when I hear stuff. Hey, gardeners out there, I be getting hyped. You know, because that's powerful, huh?
Amen.
You hear me, sis? What is something that you're working on that you want to have a lasting impact on yourself and impact on others?
I'm a writer, like just at the very core of like who I am. I'm a writer, so the legacy that I want to leave is definitely words of wisdom and poetry, of course, too. But I'm a lover of self-development. So, when it's my time to transition up out of this place, man, I want to have a lot of books, right? Like I love self-development. So, the John Maxwell's, the Jim Rohns, all the grandfathers of self-development. Like I want to be that for my generation. So there'll be a lot of poetry books. Hopefully I could be like Pop, and have some of my poetry taught in the schools. I'm working on some stuff about like what it is to be a Black woman and mental health and social justice, some key poems like that, But really, I want to leave a legacy of just wisdom and words through self-development, whether that be, what it means to just go all in for yourself and have discipline and not miss out on opportunities, from that to, what it means to be a dope poet, coming up and showing people how God used the poets. Because I say that all the time, like God really used the poets, you know what I'm saying? Like, and we are people of faith, and I think people see that within us. We got the same spirit, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. We in the world, not of it, but just seeing how we move and how we can get into these different spaces, you know what I'm saying, and never compromise. Like, I just think that's dope. So that's the legacy that I'm living, that I'm leaving.
Yeah. You living and anything, right?
I'm living and I'm leaving.
Man, we talk about, you know what I'm saying? Our favorite poet wrote poetry in red letters, you hear me?
Yes, sir.
But
they didn't even catch that. They probably didn't even catch that.
Our favorite poet wrote poetry in red letters, huh? But like I did my boy T. Yeah. Why is that goal important to you? A young woman from the city, from the hood. You know what I'm saying? Grew up in the hood. Young Black woman grew up in the hood. Worked her butt up to get what she had in life.
Yeah.
Why is that important?
it's really important to me too, because it's like one thing we all have in common as humans is like we all want to have a place to feel like we fit in the world. We all want to have some type of purpose or feel like we got a reason to be here. You know what I'm saying? So you can't take, I love the fashion and all of that stuff, but you can't take all of that stuff with you.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? But these words, you know what I'm saying, and this wisdom and these bars and God using me as a poet, I feel like that could be something that could just keep going, even after I'm long gone. Like, I hope people just know who I am, but most importantly, know like my God. You know what I'm saying?
You know what, Mo? It's amazing when God brings good people into your life, right?
He about to preach, y'all.
I'm not. I gotta keep it equal, bro. I can't, you know what I'm saying? I gotta keep it equal, Look, listen. One thing I realized about Mo is that Mo is a nurturer.
Yeah.
Because she's a mother, huh? She wrote a song called Mama's Boy. You guys need to get the book to read it.
A poem called Mama's Boy.
Yeah, my bad. Poem. Yeah, it's in a book though. You gotta buy the book to read it. But not only that, she's a nurturer to other young Black women. I've seen it. So that's why it's important to you, because yes, the poet, but you are believe it or not, she hates this word, but she don't hate it, y'all. I'm just saying that. But she's a mentor to a lot of young Black women. You hear me? She overcame. She a family, husband, kids. You know what I'm saying? She stand on principles.
And business.
And business, huh? But she just don't do any business. If the business ain't aligned with God, she ain't messing with it. My bad, y'all. I got too excited. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Like, my hat. Got my hair cut, y'all. But yes, I see my sister as a poet, right? But she's a nurturer of young Black women. You feel me? I see it. I'm like, okay, Mo. Okay, big sister. You hear me? Yeah, so we're talking about legacy. Legacy. Let's talk about personal values,
Let's talk about it.
So every garden, our lives reflects the values of the gardener.
That's real.
Right? So what are the core values you live by? How do they influence your decisions and actions? Let's go, Mo.
First of all, I want to say, when you be asking these questions, like, I'll be like, he about to call me, he about to call
Oh,
me.
yeah.
Like,
you got to be on your toes.
Yeah,
you never know what's
how you be doing that, 'cause I'm like, he looking at me.
You don't know what's
right. But core values, definitely, of course, my faith. My faith is what leads me, you know what I'm saying, helps me navigate this world. It's what keeps me from making sure, you know what I'm saying, that I'm in the world, but I ain't of it. Like, I could be the life of the party, but I ain't gonna compromise. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then also another core value is just being a person of my word. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's so important to me, especially because I can't stand when people just don't be a person of their word, whether it's friends, family, coworkers, you know what I'm saying, other professionals that you're trying to work with. It's like, I see that so much, and I see that that's something that we need to work on just as humans. Like, if you say you're going to do something, do it. And if you can't do it, communicate.
So can I say something to you with that? That's facts. My bro DC in the, y'all can't see DC in the back. He the one who taught me that, y'all. That nigga be on my butt. Yeah. But so do you think is that like a principle issue, or you think that's like integrity?
It's both.
Yeah, but I feel like a lot of people don't stand on principles.
Yeah.
You feel me? So yeah, that's my bad. I didn't make that drip.
No, that's good though. I mean, but that's the thing. I'm glad you asked the question, because a lot of times we be moving and grooving through life, but we really need to have these things set up, and we need to constantly revisit these things as we go through the stages of life, because we may not have, parents or grandparents who are able to teach us everything. Right. But, relationships is one thing that's very important to me as I go through life, because no matter what, like, we all need each other. We all have different type of relationships.
Right.
But I need people to, stand on your word, because that's really a pet peeve of mine. So I try to make sure. And I've been in situations too where I'm like, okay, I said I was going to do something, and maybe something happened, or something going on with me. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I feel like I'm not going to be standing on my word. I always communicate.
Right.
And that's the thing. So definitely my faith, standing on my word. And another principle that I've recently been trying to stand on is just, like I don't take nothing personal no more. You know what I'm saying? Like even when things don't go my way or people, you come across some interesting characters in this life, but I'm just like, you know what? Like I ain't taking nothing personal. That's a you issue. That ain't on me.
Mo's finna go back. We had open mic, bro.
Oh man.
Listen, the Garden. We had open mic last
Don't
Friday.
say no names.
Nah, I don't know. Nah, it was love though. I said, okay, look at the Holy Spirit working.
Yeah.
That was funny. Sorry.
That was funny, but I appreciate we got the same spirit.
That was
for
funny.
sure.
I
We got
said,
the same spirit for sure.
bro, it was so funny, dog. I swear it was comical, bro. I was rolling. I said, okay, intervene.
Period.
That was funny. Yeah. Okay. I didn't. What other? You got any more values? Or?
I would say right now I'm still working on some.
Oh yeah.
Things, but
how did they influence your decisions and actions? That's what it was.
The values.
Yeah.
Well, it definitely has a big influence because integrity is everything to me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like being a person of my word, just making sure that I have integrity, and I'm like that too. Like even if it's in the professional world, but even as like with my friends, like us, like we plan to do something, you're like, oh, you want to be on a podcast? I'm like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? If you tell me it's gonna be a certain time, I'm gonna be there. If you're saying like you need this for me, I'm gonna make sure that I do it because it's just that integrity, you know what I'm saying? And just being a person of my word. Like you're gonna hear me say that a lot as we just continue to do life together. I'm like kind of like no nonsense for that. But I also treat myself the same way. So if I start slipping, then it's like I'm on myself though too.
Yeah.
You know? And
I feel like you can only have that type of ambition and determination if you self-reflect on that same thing.
All the time.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Like, I have to learn that. I have to learn that within myself. Because it's easy to like fool others, but you can't fool yourself. Mm-hmm. You feel me? Yeah. So like, and I have to learn like the same standard I hold others have to hold to myself.
And after a while, you can't fool others.
Exactly. You know, so I respect that. That's facts though, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like facts, you know?
For sure.
That's it?
I think that's it.
No, I'm playing. Hey, y'all, I'm playing. I'm hecka happy. I'm making a side, so I'm playing. Y'all don't mind.
I mean, I could talk. I could go, but he got me beat though. You know what I'm saying? So you the host, so I'm gonna leave because I could go.
No, we good. Listen, y'all. We chilling. You feel me? We chilling. Big bro, what are the core values you live by, and how do they influence your decisions and actions?
Take it back to the brand, man. Truth, integrity, and authenticity. That's just what it is. With how it impacts me, though, just in my decisions, is really to go with what Mo said. More and more, just trying to be a person of my word. And when I speak, I want it to be truth as well, though. You feel me? Like not just being a person of my word, but speak truth. Because I feel that that's a true impact. And I've been reading this book just in regards to relationships as well, though. And it was talking about being the friend or the person in the relationship that speaks truth. I'm gonna speak truth to you, not to hurt you, but to help you.
Yeah.
And if you can't be around people that speak truth in order to help you, then you don't got real people around you. Like I mean, so just trying to be that person. We all fall short every once in a while. You feel me? But yeah, I'm really that, man.
I love that. Listen.
But can I say something? So you see why this my husband.
No, facts, right? And to be honest, they look my age, but they're not. They're really OGs.
I take that.
Yeah.
For real though.
Me too.
They look my age though. I swear to God, bro. Wisdom, both of them.
Wisdom. And minding my own business.
Pure,
hydrated.
pure wisdom, you hear me? I love that. I love that because me knowing you both, you guys resemble that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like first I thought Brody was like quiet. He's not quiet. His actions speak louder than words. Mm-hmm. You feel me? You're more vocal, but your actions still speak loud. Mm-hmm. You guys are like the atomic bomb of a marriage. Mm-hmm. Boom! You feel me? Sounds good.
He really liked this in real life, y'all.
Hey, I swear.
It's him.
Goofy. All right, listen, I want you guys to both answer this. You guys don't have to. I'm not going to choose, right? What legacy before I ask that question, we talked about what influenced our growth. I mean, what inspires our growth. We talked about the season of life. We talked about being afraid of failures. We talked about our personal values and our legacy. And so to stay on the legacy part, like, what do you both hope to leave for your legacy? And I mean by like your legacy. You hear me? When your name is long gone, what do you want people to remember you by? And I know that may sound the same as the last question that I asked you guys, but just to get more deeper within, what, like, do you guys ever think about, like, damn, when I leave this earth, you feel me? Like, what do I want the world to know me by? You feel me? Like, you know what I'm saying? Do I want them to know me by as a clothing designer or a poet? Do I want them to know me as a pillar of being a stand-up Christian? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know? So that legacy, what legacy do you hope to leave behind? If you was to die today.
Dang, I hope I don't die today.
No, not like that. Hey, your daughter, my bad. Listen, I wasn't saying like that, y'all. I just got to get her. You got to get them thinking.
Okay, I'll go first real quick. You got me thinking now, though. Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, well, I do want to be, I mean, you know, I love fashion and things like that since you mentioned it.
Okay.
So I do want to be known as like a dope poet who, like, always, you know, was on her Erica Baidu hype type fashion, you know. But most importantly, like, just I want to be known as somebody who, like, just had a good reputation, but was not afraid to be vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? Because we all make mistakes. I still get butterflies when I speak. Sometimes, you know, I don't really miss out on a lot of opportunities, but sometimes I might not like go for something because I feel like I'm not ready yet. But that's going to change like now. But just somebody who, you know, represented God, you know, in a real way. And we had this conversation before where we just talked about our faith and stuff. And I talked about like I've been walking with the Lord for a long time now. And I realized like my freedom, my true freedom in Christ, you know what I'm saying? Which means like, it's me and God.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not me in an organization or me looking up to another human being and glorifying another human being. It's just me and God. So as I'm walking through, always checking in with God and knowing that like, it's me and God that's leaving this legacy together and showing people that you can be a woman of God, you know what I'm saying? But you can also be in rooms with other people and still be the life of the party without compromising, you know? So I do want to leave that as a legacy for sure. And just somebody that's not afraid to speak up in situations. Like when I was in Toastmasters back in the day, and I forgot the exact situation that happened, but it was like some real racist things going on that had even hit the news. And I had to make a decision, you know, how I was going to use my soapbox in this little club in Pittsburgh, California that I was a part of. I was like, man, I'm not a huge speaker right now. I don't got a huge following, but like, how can I use my public speaking to speak on something that's uncomfortable, right? And so I was able to have the courage enough to speak up on some racial issues in this small club in Pittsburgh, California, and a group of white men and women. I was the only Black person in there.
Wow.
But that was just like the beginning of me, like just not being afraid to be uncomfortable and speak up for what's right. You know what I'm saying? And I've been like that like ever since.
So that was a God seed that really cultivate who He called you to be in all aspects.
Yeah, continue to get uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a good thing.
Yeah. That's amazing. And to piggyback on that talk, this talk that she spoke about that we had about just walking with God and understanding that it's between you and God is literally when I first met Mo. It's crazy because I have an older sister named Aisha Patterson. And so about in 2020, my older sister was like, it's a dope poet out here in Pittsburgh. Her name, MoeMinistry. Bro, I went to open mic and I met her. I'm like, I was kind of fanned out because my sister made it seem like she was a celebrity, bro. I swear. I'm like, you MoeMinistry? She like, yeah. I'm like, oh my God, like my sister said, like, you the greatest poet in Pittsburgh. Ooh. I'm like, my name Willem. And so ever since then, bro, we've been locked in and it really blessed my life because when she spoke on that, like, just basically not being afraid of who you are, know that you walk with God and stand on whatever you need to stand on, then you're going to be fine. And I was just everywhere in my mind. But as I started to comprehend who I was with God, it made life easier. Mm-hmm. And so thank you for being that example. You know what I'm saying? For a fellow follower. Because
sure.
sometimes we can get confused. You feel what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
And sometimes we'd be afraid, like I told you, like being afraid of dealing with the abandonment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or not fitting in. It's like I want to be over here, I want to be here. And so then when you understand like who you are, you just like I'm here. Yes, you would be like, damn, I'm not I'm not all for the four walls. And I'm not all for the partying. I'm for both.
Right.
You feel me?
Mhm.
So it made me realize that, you hear me? So I appreciate you for being that example in my life. You feel me?
Yeah.
The garden, baby. Sometimes you just don't know when you plant the seeds. You know, that's why it's good to garden.
Yes,
You know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
Big bro.
That's the question again.
Yeah, I forgot to, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Legacy. Yeah, legacy.
So I think the legacy I want to leave definitely would be to be someone who was authentic to them and true to themselves. Like, I'm gonna say some stuff people don't agree with. I mean, I know that just from social media. You feel me? But I'm gonna make sure that I speak my truth, not to conform to nobody else's. So I would say
I'm gonna speak my truth to not conform to nobody else's. That's the bar, huh?
yeah. But just even with that, just my legacy is that, man. Just standing on truth, standing on who I am, and not trying to be anybody else. Like, you know what I mean? Just being who I am authentically. Just even something to go with what Mo said. I mean, and you kind of mentioned just with the church and within the four walls and partying. One of the things we learn along the way, along our journey, is just like, man, you can be a rapper. You don't got to be a Christian rapper. Like you know what I mean? You can be a poet. You don't got to be a Christian poet. So every poem that you do don't got to be the gospel.
You don't label me.
Like, yeah, you feel me? Like, God created us. He put us in this world. We carry that light, but that don't mean that the light is always saying the gospel. The light is living. You feel me? So yeah, I mean, I think that's the legacy I want to leave. Just being my authentic self and walking with God and being who God called me to be and not compromising.
I respect that, bro. You said something about like art and you expressing yourself. And I was on your page and I was looking at the beautiful art that you were posting. Like with it was either you were young black boys or there were paintings, right? And I felt like I was reading a poem off the painting, you know? And so when you say just being your truth and walking your truth and standing on your truth, how do you answered that earlier this year what you want to start doing, like planting seeds within yourself. And that made me feel hella dope because I see it, bro. Like on some real, you know what I'm saying? I see it, Cuddy. Like I see it, bro. So again, thank you for being an example, bro, that a young husband may need, you know, a future father may need, and a brother niggas needs, you know? Thank you for that, bro. I appreciate you. The garden, you know, you're not over yet. It's just, I'm just taking it all in, all right? Taking it all in. So, we talked about so much, guys. We planted great seeds today. I want to ask you guys something. I want you guys to pour out to us all that's in this room, that's in this house, and then those that's going to be watching.
Yeah.
So it's advice for other people that want to start their own garden, other people that really want to start walking in their purpose, other people that really want to start walking in their vision, right? For those that want to do that, what advice would you give them on nurturing, growing in life? I'm not going to call on nobody.
I'm gonna say, man, learn who you are early. Learn your strengths, learn your weaknesses, and play to your strength. Strengthen your weaknesses, and go from there. I would say, because the world is waiting for the authentic you. Like,
wait, we can't just skip past that, brother.
You scared me.
He said the world is waiting on authentic you, huh? Yes, sir. Hey, look.
Hey, that's it.
Huh?
Yeah. But really,
I'm sorry, bro. That's what I stand on, fam. Like, bro, that's facts.
Yeah, once you get free.
No. Continue, bro. You know,
I
fire.
mean, no, that's that's pretty much it, man. I think if you start in your own garden and for the garden to be what it's meant to be, you really just got to have that foundation of who you are.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, I got something to say.
Sis, what advice would you give those that want to start their own garden on how to nurture growth in their own lives?
So I definitely was going to say self-awareness. And that's something like we always talk about, that's just who we are, you know what I'm saying? Like, so just to piggyback on that, just becoming self-aware as early in the game as possible. For some of us, we finally understanding who we are and accepting who we are, you know what I'm saying? And that's cool because it's never too late. But the earlier you could do it, just the more you could save yourself some heartache and pain, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But once you become self-aware and talking about the garden, it's like, tend to your garden. So I would say learn how to be still, learn how to be by yourself sometimes, learn how to sit down and reflect on your day, reflect on the season that you're in, understanding the season that you're in. So I just so happen to love plants. I got about probably 8 plants at the house, you know what I'm saying? And I've gotten good over the last year and a half. So
y'all been planting and watering.
Yeah, it's just something that I wanted to do. And and when I started off in the beginning, you know what I'm saying, some of them plants was withering and dying and my schedule wasn't working right with it. I didn't know how much water, you know what I'm saying, to put in it or how much sunlight, but I chose not to give up. And now I got about 8 plants at the house, but I'm learning how to tend to the plants. So tending to the garden, which you said is the garden is our life. Once you learn yourself, get to know yourself, and as you're going through, tend to yourself, just learn how to be by yourself. Learn how to not be on the phone all the time or always busy all the time. Take time to reflect, you know what I'm saying? And then you'll learn how to nurture yourself, water yourself, and you'll start to see growth. And slow growth is still growth, you know what I'm saying?
Slow growth is still growth.
It's still growth, you know
Seeds.
what I'm saying?
Seeds. Huh?
Yeah.
Listen, guys, what nutrients have helped you cultivate good habits on your journey of life?
Man, he hit us with these questions. I'm gonna need to copy these questions. So repeat the question one more time.
So what nutrients have helped you cultivate good habits that helps you grow in this journey of life?
Man, I don't even know how to answer that. I ain't trying to be too deep, but since we're talking about plants,
let's talk.
I'm just thinking about how I am just with my plants. It's just understanding what I need, the core things that I need. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes we think that we need everything, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but with a plant really for it to survive, it's just understanding what kind of plant you are, that self-awareness. And then 2, just understanding just how the life cycle works. All you need is some sun and some light and some water. You know what I'm saying?
What is that?
Sun, light, and water.
The Holy Trinity?
You know what I'm saying?
So
those are the nutrients. Yeah, those are the nutrients. It don't have to be so hard or so complicated. You know what I'm saying? But just understanding what you need, which is your core values.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For me, I would say the nutrients that I need just going through life is definitely faith. You know what I'm saying? Discipline and just healthy living, healthy eating and stuff. That's just what I be on. You know what I'm saying?
Trinity, huh?
As long as I keep them going, really, I'm good. So,
I love that.
You got me thinking now.
I love that. I love that. I love that. Huh? Trinity? Huh? Big Bro T, what nutrients have helped you cultivate good habits?
I don't know if these fall under nutrients, but I think when I wake up in the morning, I get up early. I get up probably between 4:30 and 5 usually. My devotional in the morning. Usually I try to go for a walk in the morning or throughout the day. Working out or whatever it may be, really, and doing some self-help reading or listening. I do audiobooks a lot. So just those types of things, man, I think help me out throughout the day, because something to go back to what Mo said, just being able to be alone. I love taking walks, like for miles, like because it just helps me get that alone time, and I get to talk to God, and I get to listen to something.
Mhm.
So it's just waking up, having my devotional, and that's my quiet time, my alone time. Getting up, take a walk, work out, just all those things to take care of my body, but it also helps me spiritually and mentally. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah. Those
That's
are the
amazing,
nutrients.
bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for me to piggyback on that, that's the nutrients that have helped me, man. Yeah, I'm really big on being alone.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Because I get to self-reflect more, right?
Mhm.
And I used to be afraid to like deal with my own issues,
Mhm.
my own insecurities. And when I was about 23, I seen myself like crashing out on others due to my own insecurities.
Mhm.
I wasn't willing to self-reflect, you know? And once I started spending a long time, and to be honest, once I really started spending time with God, I'm just gonna keep it a buck with y'all. That's when I really started to understand everything that was, let me just put it in a more garden fashion. That's when I really started to understand like the tears.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? The bushes, all in my garden. And I was just too lazy to remove them.
Mhm.
Come on.
But I put them there myself, you know? So it's like I had to deal with a lot of self decisions that I inflicted on my own, which allowed me to become more self-reflective, which allowed me to become more loving and understanding and transparent. Because I realized that, like, bro, everybody must have to go through this. But sometimes I maybe have to be the one to vocalize it more.
Mhm.
That's good.
You feel me? But that's what helped me. So that's my nutrient. You feel me? I just wanted to talk about that too, you know. Guys, listen up. I ain't gonna lie. They say first the worst, second the best. And the first time wasn't as dope as this one, you hear me? So I'm super excited. Listen, y'all, we did it. We here. You know, before we wrap this up, man, do you guys want to share anything about the garden before we move on? Anything?
I just want to say, just because we know each other personally, you know, I appreciate you having us on the show. I mean, it feels more like it's just a conversation.
That's all it is.
You know, we always chopping it up at the open mics. You know what I'm saying? When you come through, and then before we leave, we always like chopping it up, and we always end up talking about a little bit of God. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Little shenanigans here, because you know how you are. Little shenanigans, little God. You know what I'm saying? But it's always like fruitful conversations, and that's what I feel like this is. So I'm just happy to be able to say, like, I was there in the beginning as you know, God gave you your ministry and your podcast. And I'm just happy to, like, be able to watch you grow and be a part of it. And, man, like, you know what I'm saying? We all got a set of keys that open up some doors. So you already know, like, if you need me, like, it's up. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. But I'm definitely proud of you, man. I love everything that you're doing.
Appreciate you, sis. Appreciate you. Facts. Yeah, I appreciate you guys. You guys are dynamic. For me personally, like looking up to you guys, for me and my wife in general, like you guys are great, you know. And for me, it's great to see a powerful black couple. Young too. They my age. Not lying. They look my age though. I gotta keep saying that.
Yeah, we're around his age, you know what I'm saying? But we got a little bit more.
How old is your oldest
We got a
child?
little bit more authority.
How old is your oldest child? Right quick. I don't want to put y'all business out. How old is your oldest son?
17.
Yeah.
Oh, gee. They got a grown man in the house.
Yeah,
You hear
I
me?
take it. I love it.
But you guys have equipped me with like life and letting me know, like, don't be afraid to be you. You hear me?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, for real. I'm standing on business. Like, you guys help me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys help me as far as like believing in like my gifts.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, bro, chill out, bro. What you nigga focus on? She hit me up, bro. I talked to my bro DC the other day. I'm talking to Mo last year. She's like, bro, you gotta start getting out in the Bay Area. I gotta go to work, sis. She like, I do too, but you gotta sacrifice. Sometimes I call off. I said, but that's where she's at. She believes in herself so much. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? She's willing to sacrifice a day out of 9 to 5 to really go operating her vision